Hola a todos, Mitchell here with 7 tips for GCSE Spanish. I got a grade 9 in 2022 and an A-star at A-level just a few months ago. So here's what I wish I knew going into year 11 for Spanish. Vamos! My first tip, and this goes for all subjects, is to get familiarized with the exam structure. Find out how many exams you'll be sitting at the end of year 11 and how many marks each one is. This will depend on your exam board, tier and the specification. In case you're not aware, AQA and Edexcel have a new specification for Spanish, French and German for students sitting their final exams from 2026 onwards. So depending on when you're watching this video, keep in mind what resources are made for the old versus the new specification. Though you will find the majority of old spec stuff is applicable for the new spec as well, and there's a few differences in the exam structure between both specs, but the skills in past papers is the exact same. Next, start building habits early, mainly with learning vocabulary through flashcards. You've probably heard this before, but the best strategy to learn words for any language is little and often. So I always recommend the digital flashcard app Anki for this. Each day, set aside about 10 minutes to learn as many new words as possible, and do this daily. Anki is perfect for spaced repetition. I have decks with specific vocabulary for each exam board for free on the Anki web, and that's linked in the description of all of our videos, along with an instructional video on astarlanguages.com on how to set up and use Anki. Thirdly, when writing, say what you can and not what you want. This means focus on getting the grammar correct first, using words and expressions you know how to use, rather than lots of complex language or unfamiliar language that will end up getting incorrect. This is why I am not a fan of Google Translate. It will tell you a word or phrase which may be the correct translation, but it won't necessarily work in the sentence you're writing. In languages, you can never translate each word individually. You have to take into account the rest of the sentence. So as a whole, I'd avoid the habit of asking your teacher how to say X word, unless it's a common word you want to learn how to properly use. Okay, continuing with the skill of writing. If you're not sure what else to add in your work, or maybe you don't have enough words to meet the word count, an easy fix is referring to other people. Either using según, which means according to, or something like mis padres me dicen, my parents tell me, to start the sentence off. Especially for opinion stuff, you've given your opinion so then you can give someone else's. Next, related to writing and I guess speaking, use complex structures and phrases, once you're fully confident with the basic sentence structure. I have a series of videos coming soon on this channel. I'm all about writing basic Spanish sentences and then spicing them up. When it comes to the final writing paper, you will be expected to use a wide variety of tenses, sentence structures, and vocabulary to get full marks, especially at higher tier. Moving on to reading and listening, where you will come across negatives, which flip the meaning of the sentence, false friends, and other word traps. Learn to spot these, otherwise you'll easily lose lots of marks. You can open any grammar textbook and learn negative words like nunca, ni, tampoco, etc. False friends are words that look like something in English but mean something different. A common example is sensible, which looks like the English word sensible, but it means sensitive, so a completely different meaning. Vale, now on to another point that a lot of students consider in year 11, and that is getting a tutor. I want to make it super clear that yes, I do offer Spanish tutoring, so I may be biased, but you also may be shocked that my answer to this question is no. Most students don't actually need a tutor for any subject, provided you have decent teachers and decent other resources to self-study from. However, if you feel unmotivated or just prefer someone teaching you directly, then of course tutoring is the best option. However, just before you decide to book lessons with me, speak to your teacher and see if you can get any more help from them first. And one-off lessons before a mock exam or a real exam has been beneficial to students in the past, so that is a case where you can get a lot out of one lesson. Anyway, if you do decide you want to book lessons with us, you can do so on astarspanish.com/tutoring. Another piece of advice is use exclamative phrases in your writing and speaking to show surprise, fear, happiness, etc. Phrases like que horror or que locura add variety to your writing, and I recommend using at least one in every big piece of writing. Vale, that's all the bits of advice I have for you in this video. We've got loads of GCSE Spanish videos on this channel to help you in all 4 papers. Adios!